Hello, welcome. I'm Erin, and we're playing some more of the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. We're actually finishing up the last case of the game, because in the last stream we basically seem to have figured out what happened during the SL9 incident, but we still haven't totally figured out what's going on with the present day case that we're supposed to be doing a trial about. So let's see how that turns out. See if any other twists and turns happen. February 25th, 12:06. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Don't worry about it. Oh, hello. Welcome. This is my problem, not yours. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. No! Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? I'm gonna adjust my mic for a sec. Okay. You got a lot of nerve, pal, making the detective run all around while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. I take it Lana's been having you run errands again. Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here, she asked me to give this to you if there was a break in today's trial. I love the cover with the evidence law with there's a little baby chick with the big pipe and detective hat. I say detective hat as if that's a thing, but it looks like a little Sherlock Holmes hat. Not Herlock Sholmes yet. Evidence law. Edgeworth was talking about this just the other day. You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule number 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Is that right, Mr. Wright? Seems so. You could at least study some evidence law, really. The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. A message? She said, if you're planning to take him on, you're going to need this book. All perfect timing to show the book again because in chat it's OMG, that's so cute. A little deerstalker hat. Is that what that's called? I never knew what the name was. Him. The villain from Powerpuff Girls. I guess I'll need to give this book a thorough read. As if you didn't already read it in law school, I would hope. Oh, I don't have it in our court record yet. There we go. Evidence law securely slipped in the pocket. How big are your pockets? Or I guess how big is the book? Evidence law from Miss Guy explains 2 rules, the 2 rules of evidence law. So it's just a book that's just like page 1, the rule number 1, page 2, rule number 2. That's it. It's really just the covers with it written on the inside. I do want to actually look at it though. Chat says, yeah, that's what the hat style is. Ooh, I've learned something today. Rules for submitting evidence. And we're also gonna learn about evidence law. Rule number 1. This is exactly what Edgeworth said before. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department, and unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. Just 2 rules? I know, right? That's all you need to know about evidence law. Doesn't look like that book will do you any good now, though. I don't know. The fact that you've given it to me and we exist in a video game means it's going to be very relevant. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence. That's where you're wrong, detective. Huh? Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat, despite all these allegations being thrown against me? Mr. Edgeworth, the real trial today hasn't begun yet. What? What else is there left to do? Your credibility's been all but ruined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. Emma Skye found out she was unwittingly caused a man's death. And now, you're telling me you want to do more? You gotta be kidding me, pal. You're missing the point, detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. I don't know why it's such a habit every time there's an exclamation point reaction to just do like a horrified gasp or whatever that sound I make is. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there. What? And we're going to expose him, no matter what it takes. This case has hurt too many people, and it's time to bring it to an end. Now I'm gonna look directly at Edgeworth while I say that. It's just like, oh, never mind all the other people that got hurt. It's just about Edgeworth. February 25th, 12:52, District Court, Courtroom number 9. Oh, I was about to say, I forgot that we're starting in the middle of the last day of the court proceedings, so there was a break and we're not just starting from a new day again. I was like, 12:52, that's such a weird start time. Court would now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. The Inquiry Committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions. Thank you for the news, Your Honor. Yes, well, normally, this is where the prosecution calls forth a witness. But, this isn't easy to say. You see, there is some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, may have, struck a bargain. You think I may have manipulated the witnesses. I didn't say that. It's just, you see, everyone has been talking and... Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution. A solution? That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses. What? But there's no precedent for what you're proposing. Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. I see in chat with the out there. I feel like there's a very good chance the killer is in here, actually. Right? Just like... But... Sorry, I looked over and saw my dog just playing with one of her toys. She doesn't usually play with the toys on her own. That it seems pretty late in the story to introduce a curveball of a new character. Maybe? I don't know. Did we do that with Yanni Yogi? I feel like he kind of got teased that earlier on. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say? Unbelievable. Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Very well. The defense accepts the prosecution's proposal. Oh, congratulations! Finally! Then it's settled. The defense may now call forth the next witness. Mr. Wright. You do realize this is your last chance. You called the wrong witness. This trial is as good as over. The defense calls. The time's finally come to bring out the real murderer. It was Marshall. No, it was Meekins. Could it be the person who's been trying to keep things hidden from us? Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand. Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything? As a defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it. It was Goodman, says chat. As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. It's like they opened a door and he just has his ear pressed against the door, trying to eavesdrop on what's happening. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? True. All right. Bailiff, please escort Mr. Gant to the stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation. What is this, some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch. Your name and occupation, sir. Worthy, are you sure you want to do this? Your name and occupation. So, you want to play hardball, eh? Please, Mr. Gant. Fine. My name is Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police. Now then, Chief Gant. The court requests to hear your testimony. Oh, righto. What's with the grim face? First, let's clear up this SL9 incident. Oh, you mean that time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. There are still some things unaccounted for. Oh? Like what? Like the role you played in all of this. Son, either you're very brave or very foolish. You are aware, of course, that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Sure. Take my testimony, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. What? Is that true? I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify. That seems like a pretty bad loophole, though. Of course, such an action carries with it certain risk. Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you. Those are all totally normal things for someone to mention ahead of their testimony. Very well. The witness may now begin his testimony. An SL9 incident. Chat says, either you're very brave or you're very foolish. Why not both? So true. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently, she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. Is that when Dark was arrested? Him? He was lying on the floor unconscious. When Emma sent Neil flying, it seems Dark bumped his head. I see. Everything seems pretty clear-cut. If the police chief has the right to refuse to testify, then I'd better hit him hard and fast. We also don't know if he's, like, omitting things or anything. Exactly. In chat, so it's totally normal and not suspicious things to say, especially from the chief of police. Absolutely. Okay. I'm gonna press on more things. As I recall, a ceremony was held at the police department that day. Yes, that's right. I guess you could say I'm a workaholic. After winning his award, Neil was all fired up too. That's probably what spooked Dark and made him run away like that. Was the defendant, Lana Skye, also present in the room? I don't quite remember. At the very least, she wasn't there when Dark ran for it. There's a power outage. So the two of you ran immediately after him, right? That's right. But Dark made it to the elevator first, so Neil and I split up. He went upstairs and I went downstairs. I guess you could say. He got lucky. What's this about a power outage? Yeah, wait. If there was a power outage, then how was the elevator working? Unless it's just like on emergency power. And also I feel like, was it when Emma was hiding, like it was fine and then it turned off and then she could see through the lightning? I don't know. We'll see. Oh, that. The elevator stopped all of a sudden. I got the shock of my life. Okay. Well, probably not as shocked as Neil was when that knife went into his heart, though. Wow. Okay. That's not funny. I went to my office, I found Lana there. Could you tell us what you saw? It was a shocking sight. Neil and that serial killer were lying in a heap on the floor, all tangled together. You don't have to phrase it like that. Dark was also lying collapsed on the floor? Yes, apparently he hit his head and was knocked out. Next to him were those two poor girls. Lana and Emma. Lana was cradling Emma in her arms. Looking back at it now, she must have already known what her sister had done. Apparently she had already arranged a crime scene. How can you know that? Because of the victim's body. It had already been moved. So that means... You found the body near Lana's desk? That's right. I think you said earlier it was my suit of armor that really stabbed the prosecutor. Yes. Anyway. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. So you're saying that the forgery had already taken place by the time you arrived at your office? That's exactly what I'm saying. I can understand how Lana must have felt. But moving a body and hiding evidence are inexcusable no matter what the circumstances. Is that how it really went down? Staring at the witness won't do you any good, Mr. Wright. If you're going to stare at anything, stare at me. You'd be better off staring at the court record. Worthy, worthy, always the smooth talker. But which piece of evidence ties Gant to the forgery? Lana did admit to forging evidence. That can't be the whole truth. Somehow, I've got to link Gant to the incident. It's because he was hiding stuff in his safe, right? I'm gonna go with this one. You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery. But I'm afraid that's a claim you cannot back up because of these things that we stole out of your safe. And you can't really prove that we took them out of your safe. Explain yourself. Several pieces of— well, I guess we had Gumshoe to back us up at least. Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this jar for example. That's that blue battery you showed us earlier. A piece of this jar was discovered in your safe. Not only that, but the evidence list I presented earlier was actually found inside your desk. It was found where? Just trust me, Judge. I found them in these places. Don't worry about it. You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in the illegal investigation. Chief Gant, what's the meaning of this? Oh. There's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy. So you admit to it then, that you were involved in the forgery? Who, me? Or do you mean you? Me? Why would I have anything to do with that? Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Yeah, prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, Righto? However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation. Yeah, that's the only thing saving us, honestly. Uh-oh. Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Yeah. What is that meme that's like, oh no, the worst guy ever has made a point that you agree with thing? Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment. What? What? If Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work. Yes, well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence in your office. And their relation to the forgery that took place at a crime scene. I was looking at the guide, and it's like, has a side note for a thing that could possibly have been used. But it's like very conditional, and I was like, whoa, I didn't expect it to go so deep with that single piece. My. Kids these days no longer know how to put two and two together. Evidence and forgery. Oh yeah, that's the thing. I'm gonna put the music back on so I'm not talking into the void. Chat says that the thing I was thinking on was heartbreaking. The worst person you know just made a great point. Yeah. Let's see. What was it now? A jar fragment and a list. For all you know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when these pieces of evidence were discovered. And they were found after Dark was convicted. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol. You do understand that I am the chief of police, right? There will be consequences. Oh. Indeed, I believe I will press charges, so you won't make the same mistake again. My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today is, well, you know. Alright, Udgy. In return, though. I know. That place, right? Huh? What are these guys? Telepathic? I don't know if I want to know what they're talking about. Evidence and forgery. Let's see. I'm just gonna press on some things. What do you mean by that? This is all purely hypothetical, of course. But suppose I did place those items in my safe. Such an act wouldn't necessarily constitute forgery. If concealing evidence found at a crime scene isn't forgery, I'm not through speaking yet, Righto. It all depends on when the evidence was discovered. Are you saying this jar fragment wasn't discovered in the initial investigation? It would appear not. After all, it wasn't listed in the evidence list. For all we know, it could have suddenly materialized the day after Dark was sentenced. Oh, wouldn't that be convenient? Right? The chief is talking about a possibility, so long as you can't rule that out. Your remarks, however clever they may be, will only succeed in wasting time. Tell me something I don't know. Come on, Righto. Think about it. Okay. How can you look me in the eye and say that? Because I'm innocent. Remember? Who was it that murdered Neil? I'm not sure I care for the word murder here. But in the end, the person responsible for Mr. Marshall's unfortunate demise was Emma Skye. Well, now do you see? Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me in any way. Really, Chief Gant? At the very least, there is at least one very large benefit you've reaped from all this. Oh? I wasn't aware. What is this benefit? That would, of course, be the position you have. Chief of Police. Oh. The resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is sufficient motive. Ho ho ho! Oh, that's a good one. Huh? Do you really think I'm that incompetent? What do you mean? Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. Resolution of SL9 merely sped up the inevitable a little. Is that true, Edgeworth? Yes. He was going to be made chief anyway. Gah! Be careful when pointing that finger, or you might wind up being the one pointed at. So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else. Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I. There. It's out in the open now. Udgy, would you mind if I changed my testimony a little? By all means, please do. I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me. But I guess it's still circumstantial at this point with him putting Lana as the chief prosecutor. Yeah. Chat says, for someone else or to have blackmail on someone else. Exactly. Okay, let's press on this. Nothing in it for you. Sorry, but the only person I truly care about— wait, the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl. Lana's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you'd better think again. You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone. Be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised. You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though. Ho ho ho! Oh, that's a good one, Worthy. Could there have been something in it for him? Yeah, because he gets power of the prosecutors by putting Lana in charge and blackmailing her. Given his selfishness, would he have helped someone out? I mean, yeah, it's like the phrasing is a little sneaky, but I think this is the right track. True, you might not help out anyone for their sake, but if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone. Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to portray the chief as a nice man who likes to lend people a hand. That's not what I mean. Very well then. Who is this person you believe Chief Gant may have helped forge evidence? Oh, they put a hint right in the question. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye, the defendant. Don't look at me with those eyes. I believe it's quite obvious in light of I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. Emma Skye fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Ooh, that tripped me up because I wanted to say a series of unfortunate events so bad. Who would want to help her more than her own sister, Lana? And as for Chief Gant, he would also have a reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit. Self-profit? What do you mean? After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lana Skye was appointed chief prosecutor at the prosecutor's office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant. But how would he profit from all of this? He would be able to use the chief prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations. You mean to tell me that despite the chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets? Oh, wait. You must mean puppet as in someone forced to do his bidding. Never mind. Admit it, Chief. You assigned Lana Skye and assisted Lana Skye in the forging evidence. Your motive? To appoint her as chief prosecutor so you could control her. Right-o, my boy. You have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something. What? Do you have any proof of this? That I controlled Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing? Lana? She's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she'd testify against Gant. I'm afraid, without any proof, This all amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture. Unless... That is also what happened in this incident. This incident? Which one would that be? Of course, I'm talking about the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. The chief prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her. Worthy, you'd better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt. Just what do you mean? What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Ganton is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the Chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement. What? Order! I said order! Mr. Wright, you can't be serious. Huh? This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in our law enforcement agency. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder. That is impossible. Is it though? Your Honor, I was merely reiterating that, or what Mr. Edgeworth said in easier to understand language. It's too late, Mr. Wright. There's no turning back for us now. Looks like he's the one who's decided to go through with this. Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? That the chief, a high-ranking officer of the law, is involved in this murder? Good question. Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Ganton is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell. I see. Alright then. Let's see what Mr. Wright's got. And it better be good. I had to think about it and I was like, oh no. I couldn't remember, but I think I know what it is now. Show us the evidence that ties Chief Ganton to the murder of Detective Goodman. Is this one right? ID card record. Yeah, because he's got the 7's ID. Wrong button. There we go. This is the ID card list. Yes, the one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID on the list we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. 7777777. Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number. It's your number. What? How do you know that? The safe in Chief Gant's office requires a code to open. A 7-digit code. 7 digits? You don't mean... I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was all 7s. The same as the remaining ID card number on that list. Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. And he has a new sprite animation, which is suspicious. Order! Order! Chief Gant, what do you have to say? Nothing. The defense's search of my office was a violation of regulations. And I will demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law. But right now, this court demands an explanation from you about the use of oh my gosh, about the use of this ID card. Chief Gant, so you admit it. You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime? What about it? I'm the chief of police. Whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom, what's the difference? I can go anywhere I want. That's not a good comparison to make. Don't use the bathroom and the evidence room, please. Tell me. When you entered a room, were you alone? I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room. Detective Goodman wouldn't happen to be with you that... Oh my gosh. Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, would he? Of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days. You hadn't seen him in days? Chief Gant, I'm afraid you've just undone yourself. On that day, you've had to meet with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? This trial's purpose is to determine Lana Sky's guilt. No, it isn't, Your Honor. This trial's purpose is to determine the truth. If Chief Gant met the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting? In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask you for evidence. Show us proof that the victim went to meet Chief Gant on the day of the crime. Ooh, you can only submit the last item report to the Chief of Police, huh? Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime. Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it. So, Detective Goodman filled out a lost item report. He would have had to give that report to the Chief of Police. Yet, you are in possession of the report, which means you can't be sure he filed it. He filed it. How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day. He needed to? Yes, to transfer the evidence out. Oh. Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief Gant. Then, you accompanied the detective to the evidence room. I accompanied him? There's no other way the murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered a room. Hold on. Let me guess what you're going to say next. I, the Chief of Police, murdered poor Goodman. Exactly. But wait. The Chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just lent him his ID card. Yes. Now that you mentioned it, I believe I might have done something of the sort. Sorry, that's not possible. According to the record, your card was only used once. Yet, you showed us your ID card earlier. If you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body. No! That's a totally normal and innocent sprite animation, don't you think? Chief Gant, you didn't! The murder was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime, for no one in their right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit murder. After the murder, you contacted Lana at the prosecutor's office. Why? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body, of course. You're forgetting, Mr. Wright, that the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office parking lot. How did he manage to move it there? I was at the police department the entire day, you know. And everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony. Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of police. You have the entire police force at your disposal. Oh, so you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey you! Take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office. I don't think so. Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. And all this time I thought it was just a useless clue just taking up space. What was it? How could a chief have moved a body? Mr. Wright, show us this evidence. To move the victim's body, Chief Gant used this. Beep beep beep. What's it, this? Brought back to his office by Gant's request. This was how he moved Detective Goodman's body. What's that? A screwdriver. But what does that have to do with this case? Mr. Edgeworth, think back to the day of the crime. Was it this what is the screwdriver doing here? It's here because... Ah! I was asked to go. By Chief Gant, no less. He told me he wanted me to keep this here in the prosecutor's office. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. After the ceremony ended that day, I didn't plan to return to the prosecutor's office. But you did, because Chief Gant asked you to. You mean I... The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car. Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car? Yes. Unless, of course, you have another exclamation, Chief. Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to transport evidence from a closed case? There's only one plausible explanation. You transport the body to your accomplice, Miss Lana Skye. Order, order, order! What's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal to the defense's outrageous accusations? Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took at the prosecutor's office. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite. It is a photo of the body being taken from the trunk. Chief Gant, please say something. I believe your time's up. My time's up? Sorry, Righto, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. We ought to get going if we're to make it in time for the early bird special. But the cross-examination isn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier? A police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now. What? That is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. So you're going to just run away after all this? Run away. Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed old Goodman. That's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now. Well, You'd think I had Lana dispose of the body. If so, then show your proof and get it over with. I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the current chief of police. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright? Your Honor? Do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Guy dispose of his body. Do I have any concrete proof? Don't think so. It's no use showing evidence if I'm not even sure of myself. No, Your Honor. At present, I have no conclusive evidence. See, G. In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for your allegations against the chief. What? Here's a tip. Never gamble what you can't afford to lose, righto? It seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, Edgy. I'll leave the rest to you. No, don't go transparent! I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront to a senior officer in our nation's law enforcement agency. Uh-oh. Wow! Lady Luck, Maybe we should have a word with her. Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean? There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. We haven't yet had the honor of hearing her testimony. A lady who knows the truth. Another witness. In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method of proof is testimony. But Chief Gant invoked his right to refuse to testify. There's still someone else. One more witness who can answer all the questions raised in this trial. Someone right in this very room. Mr. Edgeworth, who is this person? Oops. Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling witnesses today. Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist? She may not be willing to tell the truth. We can't just stop now. Yes, Your Honor. Defense calls forth. Well, with that hint, I'm thinking it's Lana. The defendant? Miss Lana Skye. She was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 p.m. on February 21st. Her task, to dispose of the victim's body. In accordance with a certain someone's orders. Mr. Edgeworth? The prosecution has no objections, Your Honor. Very well. The court will now take its final recess for the day. In 15 minutes, we will reconvene to hear the defendant's testimony. This court is now in Hold on! Who's saying this? But also in chat I see that, come on Lana, come through for us. Ooh, fingers crossed. Huh? Uh-oh. He came back. Chief Gant, I thought you were going to eat. Listen good, Lana. He's talking to Lana. Yeah, I could tell from context clues, Phoenix. Thank you, though. I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible consequences. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder. This isn't good. Of course, you never such... Combining words is going to be the bane of the stream. Of course, You never support such outrageous claims anyway, right? Just something to think about. Alright then. I've got a lunch date to meet. He really is just listening through the door. Oh, what a creep. Okay, if there aren't any further objections, this court is now in recess. Thanks, Judge. February 25th. 2:04 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 2. Looks like we managed to stay in the game. Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth. That chief. He's something else, eh, pals? Detective Gumshoe. Hahaha. I'm not a detective anymore. Oh no! Oh yeah, sorry about that. Don't worry. I've already decided where to work now. At your office. My office? Sure. I'll take the place of that top-knotted girl you used to work with. Could he mean Maya? Still, looks like we're all out of moves now. Oh my gosh, could you imagine Gumshoe as our new teenage sidekick? Yeah, that's true. In chat with the, I mean, even if she doesn't say anything, it's already come out that Emma was involved with Neil's death. Yeah. Chief Gant's done it again. How is it he always gets the upper hand? It's not fair he has the right to refuse to testify. Yeah. There's a terrible, corrupt loophole. Part of the whole premise of the corrupt justice system in this world. Huh. Settle down, Wright. Remember what the judge said? But Chief, that's not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. Risks? What did he mean by that? It's simple. If the chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true. Who's saying this? You mean he forfeits his right to say anything too? Emma! Emma! Are you okay? Yeah. When I came to, I was in a medical office. Oh, I forgot that she passed out after her testimony. Oh, Emma. I hope they gave her juice boxes and cookies. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery. So she heard everything that's been going on. Emma. I'm sorry for what I said before. No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved. Relieved? Yeah. Now that I finally know what really happened. To think that all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man. And she did it all just to protect me. Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her. What do you mean? What do you think I mean? To follow Chief Gant's orders. She must have shut herself up deep inside. To force herself to do anything and everything the chief told her to. That must be why she became so cold. Well, it's all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall. Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal. Yeah, Gumshoe. Chief Gant may have been able to fool everyone else with his forgery. He can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor. I see. Well, We better get back. It's time for the final act. Emma, why don't you wait? No, I'm coming with you. I want to be there when Lana tells the truth. Let's go, Wright. It's time to end this. To be continued. And I think that seems like a good point for a break, because this is gonna be the last part of the game / trial. Yippee! Okay, but let's make sure it's saved. Okay, we are saved. Then we're gonna go on break for 10 minutes, so I'll see y'all in a bit. Hello and welcome back. Also, before I forget, thank you to the nicest vigilante for the follow. I hope you enjoy your stay. And I see you also said, Your Honor. My client said, nuh-uh, therefore he's free. Which is so good and so true. It makes me think of the Ron Swanson meme with on Parks and Rec, where he has the little note for the park ranger, and it's like, I have my permit right here, and it just says, I can do what I want. Like Phoenix just passing a note to the judge. It's like, my client is innocent. Thank you, please. Thank you. That's how we get off on a not guilty verdict. February 25th, 2:21 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 9. Now then, will the defendant, Miss Lana Skye, please take the stand? Oh boy. Miss Lana Skye, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you. Well, at least he's already said her name and occupation, so she doesn't have to. But, Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years. Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Skye. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth. Of course, the truth. Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister. Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Gant. Everything hinges on your testimony. You're the only chance we have to get Gant. No pressure. Gant and the fabrication. I worked along Gant for years. There's no truth behind this blackmail theory. Girl, I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. We already know that Emma did the thing. You can say what happened. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Are you sure about this testimony? Check yes or no. Your Honor, I'm confessing to the capital offense. Of course I'm sure. Jata, Lana, come on, be serious, please. But Lana... If this is true, then that means Chief Gant has nothing to do with this. That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me. But what if she's telling the truth? She's not. How does she keep hearing our parentheses blue text? She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony. Yeah, this is no time to start second-guessing myself. Yeah, Phoenix. Don't you remember Mia's advice of always believe in your client? The defense may now begin its cross-examination. I went to take a sippy sip and choked. I'm dying, Scoob. Let's see. Just checking ahead in the guide. But I'm gonna press on some more stuff. Worked alongside Gant for years. How many years exactly? Ever since I made senior detective. Let's see, I was 24 then, so that should be 5 years. Detective Gant and Detective Sky were legendary partners. I personally saw them testify in numerous cases. She must have been good, coming from the same school as Mia. Damon Gant was a respectable detective. That's why... I'll try. Chat says, no, you gotta hold out till we finish before you choke. It's like this whole gap from here until the rest of the game is me just gasping for air between chokes. And then I can't say make the joke go kick in the bucket at the end because YouTube will blacklist me or whatever whenever I upload the VOD. There's no truth behind this blackmail theory. Are you sure about that? But think about it, Miss Sky. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail. You should have recorded it, Phoenix. You still don't get it. Do you, Mr. Wright? Any testimony you cannot present in court is as useless as idle gossip. I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. And fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. Did you do so to help your sister? Joe Dark was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want that incident to ruin her life. But what she did was justifiable self-defense. She wouldn't have been charged with anything. That's not the point. She was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him. Lana. So, that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 years ago. Rearrange the crime scene. Say you did this all by yourself? Yes. Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene? It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken prosecutor award knife was stuck in the victim's body. What? But Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. That's only a situation you dreamed was possible. Reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement. You mean, Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Dark? Something like that. What does that mean? If that's so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Dark was carrying a switchblade knife. Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle. That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up her lies with more lies. All just to protect me. Stop listening to my parentheses blue! So, when you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to. Yes. Broke off the tip of Dark's knife planted beside the wound, then moved the body. Okay. You planted a tip of Dark's knife in the wound, then you moved the body? But why? Why would you do that? You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders. My head isn't that bad. Maybe I ought to ask for the sake of others. Why did you move the body? When you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body? It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Gant's desk. But body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there? The reason for that is simple. Let's have the witness explain this in more detail. The reason Miss Sky moved the body. The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my... threatened my plan. Wait, hang on. Wait, what was the next statement? The motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. I just want to press on this because I feel like the one that she just added is going to be the one that we find something on. So you rearranged the crime scene. Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like the quote-unquote murderer? How many times do I have to tell you, Miss Wright? Emma didn't do it. Period. Are you so desperate to hide that fact? You're willing to risk a death sentence? She's lying. She did it so I wouldn't be blamed for what happened. In any case, as a prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. There's nothing I can do to make up for my actions. Mr. Wright, my sister's lying. Looks like she's determined to protect you to the end. She insists she fabricated the evidence by herself. There's no way she could have done it alone. I gotta get Lana to talk more. She's lying, and she's bound to slip up and make a contradiction. Okay, now let's go back to that new one. About the jar. Pieces of the jar. You mean... Yes, that wretched jar you showed us earlier. In order to show that Dark committed a crime, I felt it would be more expedient to move the body. So, when you first found the body, the jar was already... Of course, had been shattered to pieces. If you looked at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened. Neil Marshall was dead, and Dark was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during their struggle. I see. What's the matter, Emma? Apparently the jar shattered at the time the crime was committed. But I have a feeling there is more to it than that. There must be a contradiction here somewhere. Anyway, I committed this fabrication completely alone. Oop. Yeah, because I'm like I keep saying during this playthrough, there is some bits and pieces that I remember and others that I don't. But I'm like, if it was actually written on, it would have to be in one piece to have been written on. The Emma is written in blood. Is this what we present? It is. Miss Sky, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister. You mean the forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered? If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I'm compelled to bring to everyone's attention a significant contradiction within your testimony. A contradiction in my testimony? You testified, and I quote, Pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan. That's right. Do you have a problem with that? It's a simple oversight, really. You see, the message is written on the jar in the victim's blood. Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments. Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not yet have been broken before he died. Ah. He couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar. Order! Order! Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regard to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here. Something critical. Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we're headed. What? Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth. Very well. The witness may now continue her testimony. Jar and message in blood. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar, but it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. You mean you were the one who wiped away the message in blood? I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence. Huh. That's... Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. Oh, there's so many interesting tidbits in this. Let's see. Okay. So the jar was already broken. It's a miracle that thing hadn't broken earlier. Certainly looks as feeble as the defense's case. Hey! Not as feeble as the judge's judgment. You were an ace detective who never missed a detail. Do you really expect us to believe? You didn't investigate what was written on the jar pieces. There was a power outage. Normally I would have. But it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar? No. If I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them to dust. Well, that helps my case. Lana, you'd do that for me? Seems you two might make up yet. Anyway, I just barely had enough time to move the body as it was. If someone happened upon the scene, you'd lose your chance to erase evidence. You must have been in a hurry. I was. I knew I had to destroy the evidence just before you came. Or just before anyone came. Whoa, where did that come from? This is rather shocking. Wipe away the blood. I'm afraid this action of yours reveals exactly what really happened. What do you mean? If you really thought Dark killed Prosecutor Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood. What else could I have done in that situation? Lana. I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces. Fragments are large, so I'm sure I got them all. Where did the button go? Where am I? There it is. How could you see with the power out? It would have been pitch black in that office. Detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. Even now, I always carry a pocket light and the camera with me. Even I carry a body of emergency luminol wherever I go. I never miss anything. I got every last piece. So you illegally rearranged a crime scene? Yes. I don't have any excuse for my actions. I'm so sorry, Lana. I didn't know. I've treated you so badly all this time. It's not too late. There's still plenty of time to make up. After we've gotten to the bottom of this incident. No doubt, this day will leave a permanent stain on the history of the prosecutor's office. More contradictions have surfaced in her testimony. Your sister is really putting up a fight. She must really care about you. Still, she's not doing this the right way. I think I finally figured out the contradictions in their testimony. There's one final possibility that might turn everything around. Take that! And Sky, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you were unaware of. What? We found the final piece of this jar in Chief Gant's safe. In the Chief's safe? But how? I knew it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still blood on it. But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off of them. Yes, which leaves us only one explanation. On the night the prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first person to show up on the scene. Chief Gant got there before you. But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece? I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective. That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along. Ha! Can you believe that? Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken. Oh, that. There's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness. I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Gant. At the time, he was looking for Dark downstairs. Besides, even if he was there first, why would he break the jar? The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide that fact for 2 years? Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that? No! No! Oh no, the judge is gonna have a breakdown. Wait, I'm not the one on trial here. Damon Gant arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar. And purposefully hid one of the broken pieces. Question. What is this action called? Fabrication of evidence. But why would Chief Gant do that? In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear? What happened afterwards? Discovering the scene, Lana Skye believed her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark, sparing Emma, and therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Sky became the chief's puppet. Ooh. No, I did it on my own. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients. Foul lies? Imagine that, coming from my own client. I guess you do seem the type who likes to twist the truth. Excuse you? Wait a minute. Will that inspire you? What if we're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap? Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Lana, maybe right after all. What do you mean, right? So, you do tell foul lies then, Mr. Wright? Miss Sky, please testify once more. But if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall may also be a lie. But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall. Miss Sky, if you will. I can't. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there is a possibility that it will, if you tell the truth. Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw. All right. The witness may testify once more for the final time. Uh-oh. Better get it this time. The actual crime scene. I also see in chat that literally when has Phoenix ever twisted the truth in court? And I keep wondering, because it's like, I don't know if he's like twisted it in nefarious ways, but he's definitely bluffed where like when he accused Old Bag for being the murderer during that one case because he wanted to buy another day of trial. But I feel like that Lana's talking about her experience with other defense attorneys anyway. Like maybe, I don't know, did they ever bring Dark to court or not? Because I feel like if they brought Dark to court and then she would have a grudge against defense attorneys for that. I don't know. We'll see. If it even comes up, I don't remember. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on that suit of armor sword. Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on a floor nearby. When I saw what had happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. Had Chief Gant helped me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it really was all a fabrication, Emma might be innocent. Unbelievable. The body was impaled on that armor sword. You were the only one who saw that. If only you had proof. Actually, I do have proof. Wait, she said that she always carried a camera with her. Did she not take any? Well, I guess she wouldn't have taken pictures then, because she didn't want Emma incriminated. Unless... I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning. The book? Did you hide something in the book? What? To me? It's a picture. That's what I said. It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed. What? I don't remember receiving a picture like that. Lana must have known. See, Mr. Wright? She really does have faith in you. Wait, I wanna... Wait. Wait, I can't look at the book, I can only read it. It's like Phoenix just fumbling with the book, like he's like, I can only look at these 2 pages and nothing else. Very well, Mr. Wright. Please present us this picture. I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lana. Lana said she gave it to you this morning, right? Oh no, I'm pulling an Edgeworth where I can't look at the back of something someone gave me. Let's check that evidence again. There must be a picture in there somewhere. Okay, now I can look at it. Oh, look at the cute cover! Oh, I can't examine it though. Oh, I'm trying to give him a monocle. Hang on. There we go. Okay. Just flip it on the back. Oh my gosh, there's more pictures! They're so cute! Okay, how do I open it? Oh, there it is. Wait, did I see it? Is it something sticking out? No. I lied. Is it that? How do I open this? Okay, there we go. Oh! An image! Hey, there's a picture here. That's part of his vest cut off. Oh, oh my. This is the actual crime scene. No other detective saw the crime scene like this. Because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I had rearranged everything. Lana's picture. Crime scene photo from the case 2 years ago. Wait, what? Crime scene photo from the case 2 years ago taken. I think that's supposed to say... Wait. I don't know. Am I perceiving that sentence correctly? Lana's picture inserted into the court record. Mr. Wright! A piece cut out from his vest. Could that be the cloth we found inside Chief Gant's safe? What's this? High five. This is a handprint, isn't it? That cloth had fingerprints on it. Whoever's fingerprints those are must be the real murderer. Uh-oh. What? But those fingerprints... They're yours, Emma. Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright? Oh, so now you can't hear my parentheses blue text. Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flesh out the real murderer. At the same time, though, it also shows that the stuff was tampered with again before Lana got there. Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. The actual crime scene. Did Gant come back? Oh no, he came back! Come now, Wedgie. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen. Chief Gant? What? Now you want to make me out as the bad guy too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defense. I'm going, at chat. I actually don't remember for sure or not, so I'm not gonna say it out loud. but I'm like, ooh, eyes emoji at that theory. If so, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defense. I'm afraid it's too late for that. What? You already declined to testify. That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort. Oh! Oh, snap! This must be that risk we were talking about earlier. Just sit back and relax. I see in chat with the nuh-uh, you already said you didn't want to talk. We got him! And enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your neck. GGG! Grrr. Ah, so what? You think I'm worried? Sorry to disappoint you. But I don't need to make any statements. What do you mean? The evidence will do all the talking for me. Oh no! He knows. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence. It's like, I can't testify, but I'm gonna slide little notes to the judge the whole time anyway. Yes, that's true. Wait, do you mean you still have some conclusive evidence? No, I don't. But someone does. Someone? So, what's your excuse, Righto? Yeah, chat with the yeah, after having a visible freakout, what do you think I'm worried? It's like earlier we had that moment of Edger doing the paw red meme with the I'm fine. And now Gantz had one of those moments too. Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death. Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt. Is this true, Mr. Wright? If I show that piece of evidence now, Emma's sure to be made out as the murderer. Quick, eat the evidence! No! Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now. And if you try to conceal, oh darn. If you try to conceal anything, you will be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries. Don't eat it, Phoenix! What do I do now? I'd better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision. Should I present that piece of evidence? The one that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall? We gotta show the things in order to pursue the truth. This is true. Chat says, but how does Gant know about it since he implied it wasn't found in the safe and that Phoenix forged it? This is a good point. He's going back and forth on a lot of things, but I guess these are the kinds of contradictions that we're supposed to be poking holes in. Yes, Your Honor. I do have further evidence. Alright. The time's finally come to show them. Those prints have got to be the Chief's. Now then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall. Oh boy. Wait, is there anything extra to this? Or is it just a picture? It's just a picture. It's a piece of leather cloth? Yes. Most likely was cut from the victim's vest, near his chest. What's this? There's a big handprint on it. Surely it must have been left on the cloth by whoever shoved the victim into the sword. What? Whose fingerprints are these? Excuse me, I'm sure Righto is checked, haven't you? Well, whose are they? Ugh. Camera shake. There, Miss Skies. Miss Emma Skies. What? They're mine? So I really did do it. See, I told you it was conclusive. But this was found in your safe. That means it's possible you forged it. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember any cloth in my safe. Do you really expect me to believe that? Well, if it wasn't found in your safe and then where... Give it up, Mr. Wright. It's over. Then, like, how do you know we didn't forge it? You shouldn't have presented that. By presenting that evidence, you tied Emma Sky to Neil Marshall's death. No. It appears we have our killer. No! 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 So many no's. I'm sorry, Phoenix. Everything hinged on that point. In the end, Lana alone was found guilty on all counts. We lost the game. Hang on. Did I go too far in the... Oh, I went too far in the guide. That's so funny. Well, now we're on an AU. That's what would have happened. Wait, where's the auto skip button? Is there an auto skip button on this? I don't know. I'll just mash. I was like one section ahead too far, which is not really a spoiler because like we know that this evidence is gonna have to come up at some point. But it was funny because I had a moment where I paused because like Phoenix automatically said, oh, the fingerprints are Emma's, and I'm like, wait, but the guide says that we have to choose to say that it's Emma's. Yeah, in chat. And that's why Phoenix didn't do that. LMAO. Yeah. Okay. So I can go through this quicker because I don't actually need to press on much of anything. Let's see. Fabricated all the evidence myself. Wait, what was the beginning? Here we go. So we need to press on this. Not gonna lie though, I do really like getting the some of the different fail states and things because I've for the same reason I like pressing on all the statements normally, even though I skip a lot of the pressing on statements during the streams because it shows a lot more insight into things. And also, not in this case of getting the fail state, but a lot of times when you press there's more funny things as well. Sort of like, wait, stop skipping over the one that I need. What was I saying? Oh yeah, like, There was one where we were pressing on stuff and it kind of like went more into the trouble that Edgeworth is in even before the fabricated evidence stuff came up about the SL9 incident. That's gonna be important. Well, it's not gonna be important, it's already important to what's going on with his character arc. It would appear it's a jar. Okay, cool. I don't have to press on anything in this next one. Okie dokie. Boop, 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 boop. And the jar again. Okay. Now we're almost caught back up because this is going to be the testimony where Gant comes back and interrupts the cross-examination. Shoop, 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 shoop. Crowd really loves sheep. They're just such cute, cuddly creatures. I like the judge having a breakdown though, it's so funny. Everybody has to have a I'm fine, Paul Rudd moment. Ugh, I hate her biting her thumb and making it bleed. It's like, ugh. What if I didn't reveal the evidence too early because I was reading a guide incorrectly? Okay, here we go. Everybody slam on the tables. The actual crime scene. What if, because I have to mash, because I don't know the auto scroll button, I accidentally clicked to not show or to show evidence again. I guess I could still select the wrong thing to make it cycle back. Oh my gosh, what did I do? Must be, what is this? Hang on, what are we talking about? Oh, the book. Okay. It's like, we have to look at the thing that Lana gave us this morning. And Phoenix is like, my badge? There's a picture. Oh yeah, thank you for the assistance in chat. My own Emma Sky assistant. Okay. There we go. Okay, now we get to hold it. Or not? Is it not yet? There it is. Okay, whew. Gotta come back quicker next time, Damon. Hopefully not next time. Almost. Enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your neck when Phoenix fumbles the ball. You don't mean conclusive evidence. Oh no, I hope not too. The chat says, oh no, the assistants have all been accused of murder so far. I hope that doesn't happen to me. You can't try to conceal anything. You'll be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries. Phoenix and Miles can hold hands as they go talk to the Board of Inquiries. You can tell I'm going real slow so I don't accidentally press the wrong thing. No! No show evidence. Okay. Let me take a sippy sip. And not choke this time. Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. What? You lie. Chief Gant? You opened my safe. I know you took what was inside. Ah. The conclusive evidence. How to get him to implicate himself. I don't know what you're talking about. Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? You found it together. Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Chief Gant? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area, besides the blood? It looks like part of it's been cut out for some reason. You mean you had this in your safe? What? That means you, the Chief of Police, have been concealing evidence. This is going to be the biggest scandal in history of the police department. Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, Wright. We had to stoop down to his level to do it, though. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened. What? You mean you admit to it? I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lana. So you really were manipulating her. I knew Lana. If I made it look like the blame lay with her sister. Now when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid. So you assisted Miss Sky. I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant a knife tip into the victim's body and move the body across the room. And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Dark convicted. When I tampered with the crime scene, I hid 2 pieces of evidence. This was before Lana arrived at the scene, mind you. 2 pieces of evidence? You mean those items in your safe? But why? For insurance. Of course. Insurance. I was sure my plan would work, but it's always the best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for the murder that girl committed. And chat calling him a dummy, and then, wait, why can't he say stuff now? I thought we just went over how he can't defend himself. I mean, I get that it's helping us now, but still, lol. That's a good point. Because I know that he was, at first he got around it by saying, oh, I'm speaking now because I'm presenting evidence. But at this point, I'm like, I don't know. You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence? What do you take me for, a fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. See this jar fragment? I hit the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the blood of all the pieces. But if you fabricated all the evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on this jar, too? Ho ho ho. Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for insurance. You mean that piece of cloth? Come on, Righto. Cough it up already. I know you have it. What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright? So you admit to it then, Chief Gamp? That you were hiding the cloth you cut off from the victim's vest in your safe? Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that being chief and all, but it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago you said you didn't have any evidence you could present. Foolish move, Righto. You should have shown it before it was too late. Oh man, I totally should have. I wonder what would happen if I did. Flashback waves. It's been a long battle, but the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess up here, victory is mine. What if I just said, cannot show evidence again? Okay. Double checking that I'm realizing I should have saved before that just to make sure I didn't accidentally go to present at the wrong time again. Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now. But like, I know that at this point, Gant can't worm his way out of saying, no, it wasn't from my safe, because he straight up said, yes, it was in my safe, I put it there. Or whatever else going on with it. He's already admitted to tampering with the crime scene and everything. Alright then. Let's see this conclusive evidence. For realsies this time, I hope. Evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall. Just a second. Just a second. Okay. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut this out of a piece of the victim's chest. Or not chest, his vest. Oh boy. Oh yes. At last, you finally brought it out into the open. There's a handprint on this piece of cloth. Your Honor, the prosecution requests immediately to be sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather. Must have been a strong impact to be left so clearly. You mean? It could not have been forged. It must be authentic, conclusive evidence. Ho ho ho. You're as slow on the uptake as ever, worthy. What? Think about it. Brighto had all this time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be? You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that? Mr. Wright, do you really know? Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they? Very well, I'll tell you. It should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. Phoenix looks at the camera at the player who chose the wrong thing last time. It's okay now, don't worry. Emma. Emma? Emma Sky? What? They're mine? I'm sorry, Emma. But why? Why didn't you tell me? Oh ho ho ho. You're really something, Righto. You knew this girl did it all along, and you still tried to pin a murder on me. So it's true. Tragic, but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death. I mean, all it really does is prove that she shoved him. Doesn't necessarily mean she shoved him into the sword. How could you? You monster! Phoenix is able to see other timelines confirmed 100%. Miss Sky. You knew those fingerprints were... You knew whose fingerprints those were all along, yet you acted like she really didn't... Miss Sky. It's not over yet. What? I said this trial isn't over yet. Ha! But I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career, too. You purposefully concealed this conclusive evidence, not just any evidence. I mean, you did too. You're going down with me if this is all wrong. That, my friend, is a serious offense. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after a defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy. He's just letting him talk? What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer? Yeah, with chat. I was gonna say, she shoved him, it's not necessarily what caused the death. Didn't Emma even say she doesn't, or she... Didn't Emma even say she remembers shoving someone? Yeah. He's still doing the dot dot dot. Before I do that, it's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh, and what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? Ooh, here we go! What? Chief Gant, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you asked? It was Emma Sky, wasn't it? I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What? A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about? I'm talking about a contradiction. One that proves who the real killer is. Who? Tell us, tell us. Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth. What could it possibly contradict? Chief Gant, your tyrannical reign ends here. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. Wait, what's the evidence? Lana's picture. Lana's picture. What about Lana's picture? Oh, you know, I did think about that, but I just glossed over it afterwards anyway. Chat thinks, ooh, her fingerprints over his handprints, perhaps, maybe? So the thing that crossed my mind when I first saw this picture was the blood splatter, because I think the reason I wrote it off at first is like, oh, the blood stain dripped through his shirt, but the reason that I thought it was suspicious at first is because it's like, oh, that's a lot of blood, where his vest should have covered it because it's made of leather, so it shouldn't soak through as easily. So I think this is what it's supposed to be. What exactly is this supposed to be? This is the picture that Miss Sky took. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of his vest was cut out? Yes. His shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all the blood on his vest, though. Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs, no doubt, were punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth. Oh, but that piece of cloth. Oh, it's because there's no blood on the piece of cloth. Okay, I gotcha. Wait, there's no blood on it. Ah! Since some of Sky's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on a sword at that time. No, this is nonsense. Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely excuse me. He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived on the scene before Miss Lana Sky, picked up the unconscious prosecutor, and impaled him on the armor's sword? Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood. A jar that they broke on purpose to leave behind a clue and make Lana believe her sister did it. See, that was another thing that I was like, this doesn't seem right, because if he was impaled on the sword, then how would he reach the jar at all to write the name on it? Remember what you admitted only moments ago. That you personally cut out this bloodless piece of the victim's vest. Ironic, isn't it? Through the very act of creating insurance, you proved that you were the actual murderer. No! It's finally over. Objection. Oh, he has a sad sprite animation now. Oh, that was close, Righto. You almost had me. Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refute your allegations. What do you mean you refute his allegations? You see, that piece of cloth is illegal evidence. But you confirmed its relation to the case. Order, order. What nonsense is this? Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Reggie? Earlier, old Righto here concealed that piece of cloth. So then, what's your excuse, Righto? You do have some conclusive evidence, don't you? Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. Well, that's true. Oh, he's gonna say that I couldn't present it yet because it wasn't admitted as official evidence, or it couldn't be admitted as official evidence yet. And then Gant did himself in by confirming that it is related to the case. Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence. At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence. But that's not fair. Hoo 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 hoo. Did you really think you could best me in court? It looks like the last laugh's on you, son. Gonna throw the book at him, literally. I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct. No, it's not! Well, Mr. Edgeworth. True. Legal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal. Well, Mr. Wright. It seems, at last, the time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived. Mr. Wright, do you admit to it? That you purposefully and illegally concealed this piece of cloth? No, because it wasn't related to the case yet until it was confirmed. I admit, I refused to present it at one point. Aha! So the evidence is illegal. No, it isn't, Mr. Gant. Huh? It's not that I didn't present evidence then. It's that I couldn't. What do you mean you couldn't? There are certain procedures involved when presenting evidence. No, Wedgie. Don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but a coward. You can't really believe. There is only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not? Very well. Let us settle this once and for all. Earlier, you refused to present evidence. If you can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now. I almost presented the photo. The book! This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. With a cute little picture on it. What's this? I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma's guy's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more. What? You see, it's written right here in this book, the second rule of evidence law. Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. I found this piece of cloth of evidence myself, inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have approval from the police department. Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And here's the crux of the matter. You see, at the time it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident. What? What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and... Sorry, but can you recall? When was that picture presented? That was shown only a few moments ago. No. He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless. The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Gant. You confessed to a certain truth. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's chest. It's like, I try to don't say chest, don't say chest. I said it. On the victim's vest. Oh, yes. No. It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest was the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in its final moments. In other words, the real murderer. There's only one person who that could be. Damon Gant. The killer was you. I knew I should have gotten rid of him. That good-for-nothing scum. Yeah, Marshall! He finally got justice for his brother! For 2 years, he's been snooping around the department trying to get something on me. Crimes being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me. Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty. He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Starr, then convinced Bruce Goodman. Detective Goodman? Yeah, that's right. If the evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only chance to find the truth. Please, you got to help me. Goodman turned him down, as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit. He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence. Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. Then all of a sudden, he decided to speak out. Oh? What are you talking about, Goodman? Can't you please reopen the investigation, Chief? You can't transfer the evidence out. There are too many questions left unanswered. He opened his evidence locker as he was taking the evidence out. As he was taking the evidence out, he said, "It's not too late. I'm going to hand this over to Marshall." Well, to be honest, I was a bit taken back by his words. I had had a bad feeling when he came to see me, but I never thought he'd bring up SL9. That's when I saw it. That accursed knife. I couldn't just pull it out. Doing so would have only led to more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime. Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I hurried to wipe it up. I was worrying so much about the floor I didn't realize my fatal mistake. The bloody handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker. The one that was gloved, right? I used to be known as the crime computer. But everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it. Then you put the body in my car? I'm sorry. I couldn't think of any other way to move the body. I broke your trunk, but what's the big deal? You make a lot more than us detectives ever will. Leaving the prosecution's car aside? How? How could you get Miss Guy involved in all this? Well, she had much to lose She had as much to lose as I did if the truth came out. So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker? I felt bad for having to do it. I also didn't have time to pick and choose what to take. So, you left the jar of fragments in the glove. Yeah. It looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer. They all did their best to get in my way. I got to hand it to them. They do their jobs well, much to my dismay. Fake evidence doesn't hold up well upon close examination. You must have known that. Tell me, Worthy, why do you stand in court? Me? You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. But we already know that he's not acting alone because Phoenix and Miles were tag teaming this whole case. Well, it looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, Udgy. What? Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend. I'm sorry too, Damon Gant. Oh, friendship over. I knew you as you used to be, long ago. You were once a fine investigator, an example to others on the force. I'm sorry to learn that you are no longer that person. Those days are gone now, Edgy. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now, you have Wright here. And Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already. The melodious sounds of a new beginning. There are two things I want you to understand. Yes. First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Damon Gant betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Sky, you no longer have any reason to keep silent. You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. All that I've done these past 2 years. Ooh, gonna pile on more allegations on him. From the time I had Gant help me forge evidence up until today. So, seems all the questions raised in this trial have been answered. I'm sorry, Miss Sky. I couldn't get you out of all your trouble. My. What high standards you have for a rookie. I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows? A few years from now, you just might make it to the top. No. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. Miss Sky. And you too, Mr. Retchworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you. It was nothing. Liar. I was worried the pressure might break you. And yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth. Stop it! I only did my job. Edgeworth! In light of this case, it seems a good self-examining is in order for all of us. Miss Sky. Yes, Your Honor. You are innocent of murder. However, although the chief blackmailed you, the fact is you still acted as his accomplice. A trial will be scheduled for these crimes at a later date. Yes, I understand, Your Honor. Is there something amusing about all this? Why are you smiling? It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I felt free of these heavy chains. Oh, Lana! Well, this trial has gone on far too long already. Regarding the charge of murder, this court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Skye, not guilty. Yay! That is all. This court is adjourned. February 25th, 5:03 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby Number 2. At long last, it's finally over. Oh no! Emma? Why the long face? Sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook, but at least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit. No, that's not it. It's just now, after the trial ended. I can see why Mia Fey thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. Oh, she didn't give thanks to Emma, she only gave thanks to Phoenix and Edgeworth. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. Is that what she's gonna say? You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. You've done well. You know, I did my best too. Oh, Emma. But Lana didn't say a single word to me. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. The comedy rules of 3. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. No. Wait, Detective Gumshoe. What is it? You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Making a detective run all around while on duty. And top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Hey, lighten up, pals. I'm only kidding. Oh, are you here because of my sister again? Nope, not this time. I came today because of you, pal. Me? That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone. Lana! Should you be doing this? She's still under arrest, you know. She's under the supervision of a detective, though. Well, I won't tell if you won't. Emma, I owe you an apology. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day, 2 years ago, was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in that mess. Sis, I asked Gant to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake. But now, I realized I was wrong. I changed after that day. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through that past 2 years. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself, but I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared. Scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew. But sis, you're only doing it for me. No. Huh? I turned my back on you that day. In hiding what I believed to be the truth, I was deceiving you. Sis. I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry. But sis, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy now. You're happy? Of course. You know, sis, I always knew that one day you'd come back. And now you have. Oh, Emma. Emma. Yay, the sisters made up! No one can change the past. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. Why must my sorry to ruin the sweet picture? Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Because in so doing, we find our way back to our rightful path. And it is from there that we can move forward to a brighter future. At least, that's what I felt watching the two sisters make up. Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe. Me? Thank you both for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? Edgeworth? Stop hiding and come over here. What if he was just standing behind the plant? Where was he hiding? I just came to say, congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Right. Well, I'll be going now. No, come back! Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you. It's too late for me. No matter what anyone may say, I realized today that I can't correct my mistakes. Mr. Edgeworth. Not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gant was right. You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day, you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. But in order to fight crime on my own, I'd need a weapon. It's scary, but I've known that to be true for quite some time now. But Edgeworth, who knows? Given enough time, I might even have tried to pull something like Chief Gant did. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue as a prosecutor. Edgeworth, don't you understand? Damon Gant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma, were both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime. But they both made the same mistake. You said, in order to fight crime on my own, I'd need a weapon. That may be true, but think back to today's trial. You weren't alone. That's what I'm saying! You were working together with Mr. Wright. And because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Huh? What? Oh, yeah. What is this, a pop quiz? Come on, Mr. Wright. Show him what Lana's talking about. Evidence, huh? Something that neither Edgeworth or I would have been able to find on our own. Oh my gosh, we're gonna be able to, like, connect the two halves together like a couple of cuties. That's the picture I drew. Where did that accent come from? Our counterattack began with this. You had one half of the evidence list, and I had the other. Apart, we wouldn't have been able to completely restore Emma's picture. That didn't just happen by chance, Mr. Retchworth. You're giving him unnecessary feelings again. It's time for me to go. Mr. Retchworth, if you'll excuse me, there are still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor. Retchworth, what will you do now? Well, whatever you do, just remember. You can let what happened kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you. I know. It seems I owe you my thanks too, Wright. But what I face now is my problem. Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court. Farewell. I see a chat with the he needs to go stand in a corner to process his feelings. That's totally what he's gonna do. Just go back to his office. Stand in the corner. Maybe look at the Steel Samurai statuette. I'd better be going too. Okay. But I'll be by to visit soon. It seems we both have a lot to learn and catching up to do. Oh, a scientific investigation book. Who makes these adorable, like, law and forensics books? Here, this is a little something for you. Scientific investigation. This is the first book I ever bought. Really? How old were you when you purchased this book? Well, I guess if she was a child, maybe her other books were bought by your parents. Study it well. Thanks, sis. I will. And so, another case came to a close. As for the sisters, I have faith. Faith that their lives have only just begun. And as for me, I think it's time I started on a new journey of my own. A journey to rediscover myself. What was the last picture of Edgeworth, Phoenix? Well, don't go checking off just yet, pal. Huh? What is it, detective? There's just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this. But I thought you said it was okay. Yeah, well, it might be okay with me, but the folks in the prison are a different story. Huh? Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either. Huh? Way to go, detective. I didn't know you had a wild side. Yeah, well, you see, Mr. Wright here is the one who will be footing the bill. Huh? Huh? What, you think I could afford it with my salary? You gotta be kidding me, pal. Huh? 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 Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best. Why is it I suddenly feel like I want to scream? Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we all go pay it? Wait. Why don't we all go pay it off together? Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go. Yay! I'm trying to read this thing. It's like... Okay, there's more stuff. I arranged for a friend of mine in Europe to take Emma. I hope she'll be pleased to study under a top coroner. As for me, this affair has pretty much ended my days at the prosecutor's office. Still, I managed to find my way back into the field somehow. Then I'll be able to investigate crimes together with Emma. Well, both her and Marshall want to be able to see Emma become a proper forensics investigator. Because I don't remember this from playing the DS version, but the... Hang on. Yikes. I thought I was a goner for a moment there. In the end, though, they overlooked my unauthorized investigation of the chief's office. If we penalized you anymore, it'd be worse than firing you. Yup, that's what they said. It just goes to show. You can't shake me off that easily. The guide says that during the credits on the DS version, you'll notice the green grid is on the touchscreen. However, instead of finding fingerprints, you'll find pictures. But obviously there's no touchscreen or a secondary screen on the PC version, so... I don't know. I don't remember what those pictures would have been. Because I don't remember that from playing it on the DS. My new mission is to guard the main entrance. Something... And Billy the cactus, can you believe it? I've been demoted to security guard. My partner is keeping an eye on the entrance for me today. I'll show them, though. Someday I'm gonna make detective. Yes, sir, then I can just be like that Dick Gumshoe. Oh, everybody loves Gumshoe. I see a child there. Oh, yay, we did it! We did! It's been a long journey. The Blue Badger is his partner. The best detective duo. I mean, not detective duo. Where are they? I guess they're buddy cops. Oh no! The Blue Badger! He's dead. Marshall! What is it? Can't you see I'm having me a showdown with steak lunch partner? Miss Star managed to sneak this in to me. She's seeing one of them guards, it seems. Well, cowboy, looks like you did it. You even gave Bambina back her life? Can you make sure Billy and the gang get their water? Aww. Sorry for destroying your accent, trying to read fast. Even though I never really... Looks like we won't be seeing each other for a while. I don't remember her voice. As a farewell gift, I put a new meal on the menu, the Right Way lunch. The top layer tastes bitter as defeat, but the bottom layer is as sweet as victory. Kids seem to dig the turnabout theme. It's a hot seller around exam time. Just make sure not to eat it backwards. I was gonna say that I could never really nail the southern accent or whatever the heck I was doing, but at least I was consistent about it towards the end until the epilogue. I'll never forget what that young defense lawyer said after the trial. Let's see, what was his name again? Mr. Left? Anyway, he said he's been doing something or other the how many years? Well, anyway, I've got another trial to get to, so I'd better be, huh? Oh no, I forgot about my gavel. Sorry, gotta go. Aww. Chat says, Jake said you even gave Bambina back her smile. That's sweet. Both him and... I think I already said it, but both him and Lana wanting to work with her in forensics is cute. They just want her to have a good life. Maya! Ah, nothing soothes the soul like fresh country air. Still, sometimes I do miss hearing you and your objection. Still, I can't go back until I'm a full-fledged spirit medium. Mystic Maya! Afternoon training's about to begin. Coming! Well, see you around, Nick. Maya cameo! Edgeworth! You better be here. Mr. Edgeworth. Oh no! Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, I brought you your tea. Hmm? What's going on? What is the note? Parentheses, I know what's on the note. Thanks for coming to see me off. I can't believe I'm going to Europe. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you so much for everything. I'm a little sad, but I'll be alright. Whenever I want to see Lana, all I have to do is open this book. Did you put her picture in it? Oh, you did, didn't you? No. Oh. Wait, come back, let me see it. Oh. Simpler times before murder. No, and I got an achievement. Finally finished this case on PC. Yay! Oh, it doesn't give me the option to save. Even though I know we don't need it since we reached the end. No, in chat, oh no, it's cute! You know, how dare the sisters be cute! But it's so nice because since they're like built up as a parallel to Mia and Maya, but they got to have their kind of happy ending. Or at least one of them doesn't have to die. But yeah. Yay, we got to finish the first of the Ace Attorney games, even though technically we finished first Ace Attorney game with the fourth case, and this one was the bonus case for the DS, but it still counts as finishing the first game times 2! Yeah, in regards to finishing that case, it only took us like 4 years, lol. Yeah! Oh my gosh. We made it! And then I'm excited. Because I'm still deciding whether or not I want to do it, but I've been considering doing like visual novels on like Wednesday nights or something like that as like an extra stream time. But if I don't do that, then we will come back around to the second Ace Attorney game at some point, because I want to get through, like, not get through, because that makes it sound like a chore, but I want to be able to go through and play all of the Ace Attorney games at some point. Especially the trilogy and the Apollo Justice game, because those are like the core of the series before it kind of like the writing team shifted or whatever. But yeah, oh my goodness. I love the series so much. Yeah, but for now, next week I might be doing like a one-off stream because it's my birthday, and then but regardless, I don't think regardless is the right word, but after that, probably going to be doing Red Dead Redemption 1 as the next long series, so we can circle back to like finish the I want to say like the main story of the Red Dead Redemption series, because there is also the Undead Nightmare, which is like a bonus side thing. It's like its own little AU. But yeah. But I'll post specifics about that sometime in the next week. But either way, it's gonna be starting at the same time. If I do the birthday thing. I might go a little bit later. We'll see. I only just really thought about it today, so I need to decide on stuff. But yeah. And so you can chat with the birthday bash. And then also, Eyes Emoji at RDR1. I'm excited to finally see it in full. Heck yeah. I'm excited to be able to talk about it some more. I won't go into it too much here since, yeah. Oh, since I know bits and pieces from when my dad played. It's funny because when I did the photo shoot with Molly Doyle, who's adorable on social media, because I had an RDR1 cosplay, she's telling me how she actually went to ask her dad for insight about stuff that could be done with the photo shoot because he was a big fan of it. So it's cute seeing everyone with like their dads who are fans of Red Dead. And then now I get to share that with with the next generation of people whose kids ended up being fans. But yeah, so that's the general broad idea of the upcoming schedule. With visual novels, Red Dead, and birthday stream. Details for all of those I'll just post whenever I start to nail it down. And for now, also just say thank you all for hanging out. Whether you're in chat or just lurking, I hope you all had a good time and enjoyed the first game of the Ace Attorney series. And yeah, hope you had a good time, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye bye.